Michael Carter, the visionary founder of the wildly popular coffee chain Urban Grind, wasn't just a successful entrepreneur. He was a man on a mission. Michael had built his empire on a foundation of core values: equality, excellence, and opportunity for all. He wanted every customer to feel at home and every employee to treat people with respect, no matter their background. Despite his immense success, Michael never lost touch with the everyday experiences of his customers. He often wondered, were his employees truly living up to the company's values? To find out, he decided to take matters into his own hands. One crisp Tuesday morning, Michael made an unannounced visit to one of Urban Grind's busiest locations in downtown Chicago. But this wasn't just any visit. Michael went undercover, trading his tailored suits for a simple hoodie and jeans. To anyone watching, he looked like just another customer. As he stepped inside, the store was buzzing with energy. The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, and the sound of chatter and clinking cups created a lively atmosphere. Baristas moved swiftly behind the counter, filling orders with practiced ease. Michael smiled, excited to see his team in action. But his excitement was short-lived. Something quickly caught his attention. A young employee with dyed red hair, her name tag reading Amanda, was leaning against the counter, scrolling through her phone. A line of customers waited impatiently, but Amanda seemed oblivious. Michael stepped forward, his warm smile aimed at her. "Excuse me," he said politely. "Could I get some help, please?" Amanda barely glanced up from her phone. Within an exaggerated sigh, she rolled her eyes and muttered, "I'm busy. Go wait like everyone else." Michael blinked, momentarily stunned by her rudeness. He stepped back into the line, observing as Amanda finally put her phone away and began helping customers. But what he saw next was even more troubling. Amanda greeted white customers with a bright smile, taking their orders quickly and engaging in friendly small talk. However, when customers of color approached, her demeanor shifted. She became cold, dismissive, and rushed them through their orders without so much as a smile. The tension in the room was palpable. When it was finally his turn again, Michael approached the counter, determined to see if her behavior was a one-time mistake. "Hi," he said with his usual friendly tone. "I'd like a medium caramel macchiato, please." Amanda didn't look up. "We're out of that," she said flatly. Michael frowned. He had just watched her make the same drink for a customer moments earlier. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. Amanda crossed her arms and gave him a sharp look. "Try another store," she snapped. The room seemed to fall silent. Michael felt a mix of disbelief and disappointment. Was this how his employees treated customers when they thought no one important was watching? Without another word, Michael nodded and walked out of the store. He had seen enough. This wasn't just about poor customer service, it was about something much deeper and more troubling. As he walked back to his car, his mind raced with questions. How many other customers had experienced this? How many had walked away feeling disrespected and unwelcome? Michael knew one thing for certain. This wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. Back at Urban Grind headquarters, Michael wasted no time diving into the matter. He pulled up customer feedback and employee reports from the Chicago branch he had visited. What he found only added to his frustration. Complaints about rude service and unfair treatment kept popping up, many of them mentioning a red-haired employee. Some customers even suggested they felt unwelcome because of their race. It didn't take long to connect the dots. Amanda had a history of this behavior. Michael also discovered that Sarah, the store manager, hadn't filed any official reports. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Michael invited Sarah to a private meeting. At first, Sarah seemed hesitant. She admitted she had noticed Amanda's behavior, but hadn't said anything. "Amanda's popular with some of the staff," she explained nervously. "If I called her out, I was worried it caused tension. I didn't want to make things worse." Michael listened carefully, his expression calm but serious. He assured Sarah that creating a fair and welcoming workplace was more important than avoiding conflict. He thanked her for her honesty, but made it clear that allowing such behavior to continue wasn't acceptable. With Sarah's cooperation, Michael started planning his next move. 1 week later, he returned to the same Urban Grind branch, but this time he wasn't in casual clothes. Dressed sharply in a tailored suit, he walked in with a small team of executives. The sight of them caused the store to fall silent. Customers paused mid-sip, and employees whispered nervously among themselves. Amanda, oblivious to what was about to happen, was chatting with another employee when Michael called for a staff meeting. "Can I have everyone's attention, please?" he said, his voice steady but commanding. The staff gathered in the seating area, their faces a mix of curiosity and worry. Amanda leaned against the counter, still scrolling on her phone, until she realized who was speaking. Her eyes widened, and she quickly tucked her phone into her pocket. "My name is Michael Carter," he began, his tone firm. "I'm the CEO of Urban Grind." Gasps filled the room as Amanda froze, her face turning pale. Michael scanned the room, his gaze finally landing on her. "Last week, I visited this store Undercover. I wanted to see how customers were treated." He locked eyes with Amanda. "What I experienced was unacceptable. I was ignored, dismissed, and lied to. And from the complaints I've reviewed, I'm not the only one." Amanda stammered, I didn't know it was you." Michael raised a hand to silence her. "It doesn't matter who I am. Every customer deserves respect, not just the ones you think are important." The room was tense, and Amanda's usual confidence had vanished. She muttered weak excuses, but it was clear they wouldn't help her now. Michael finished with a message to the entire team. Urban Grind was built on the idea that everyone is welcome. This behavior has no place here, and it will not be tolerated. As Amanda sat in stunned silence, Michael prepared to deliver the justice she had coming. This was more than a lesson for Amanda. It was a statement to everyone about what his company stood for. Michael stood at the front of the room, looking at his employees with a firm yet calm expression. "Let me make one thing clear," he said, his voice steady. "Racism and poor service have no place at Urban Grind. Our mission is to create a welcoming environment for everyone, and that mission will not be compromised." The room was silent, all eyes on Michael. Then he turned his attention to Amanda, who was nervously fidgeting with her name tag. "Amanda," he said, "your behavior last week and the complaints I've reviewed show a clear pattern of disrespect and discrimination. That is unacceptable, and I cannot allow it to continue." Amanda's face turned pale. "Wait," she stammered. "I can change. It won't happen again, I swear." But Michael shook his head. "I gave you the chance to do the right thing with every customer you've served. You chose not to. Effective immediately, you're no longer employed at Urban Grind." Amanda gasped, looking around for support, but none of her co-workers spoke up. Michael continued, addressing Sarah, the store manager. "Sarah, I understand the challenges you faced, but as a leader, it's your responsibility to ensure this workplace reflects our values. I'm giving you the tools to succeed." Sarah nodded, relief and determination in her eyes. Michael explained that she would receive additional training on team management and leadership, along with company-wide support, to ensure the store became a positive space for everyone. He then announced sweeping changes across all Urban Grind locations. "Starting today, we're implementing mandatory diversity and inclusion training for every employee. These sessions will focus on treating every customer with respect and ensuring that Urban Grind remains a space where everyone feels welcome. We will not wait for problems to arise. We will address them proactively." Word of the incident quickly spread, thanks to a few customers who had witnessed the confrontation and shared the story online. Social media exploded with posts applauding Michael for taking swift and decisive action against discrimination. Comments flooded in from people who admired his leadership and praised Urban Grind for standing up for its values. The changes Michael implemented began to make a difference almost immediately. Customers noticed the improved atmosphere at the coffee shop, and many expressed their gratitude to the staff. The local community, once wary of the branch, began returning in greater numbers, and business flourished. For Michael, the experience was a reminder of why he had started Urban Grind in the first place. To create a business that not only served great coffee, but also stood for something greater. One afternoon, as he visited another store, Michael noticed a young Latino barista working diligently behind the counter. The barista looked up, his eyes wide with recognition. "You're Mr. Carter," he said excitedly. "You're the reason I wanted to work here." Michael smiled, touched by the young man's words. He spent the afternoon mentoring the barista, sharing advice on leadership and success. As they talked, Michael felt a deep sense of pride, not just in the company he had built, but in the example he had set. He knew that real change came from action, and he was committed to inspiring others to do the same. Urban Grind wasn't just a coffee shop. It was a symbol of inclusivity, equality, and the power of doing what's right. And that, Michael thought, was the most important achievement of all.